It's summer at Moat Cottage. Hello, my name's Elissa and I homestead on the edge of a small country town in Victoria, Australia. I've been improving the soil and creating garden beds for many years now. I plant the food and medicine plants on a budget from cuttings or grown from seed, and occasionally investing in a fruit tree when I'm able. I try to grow as much as I possibly can, for both fresh seasonal use as well as for preserving some for the year ahead. And this includes eggs as well. Summers here are normally brutal, with drought, heat waves in the mid-40s and bushfires. This summer has been very different, with wild storms, regular rain and many power outages. This storm was not forecast and completely took our whole town by surprise with its sudden appearance and ferocity. There was a mad dash to get the birds locked up before it came.
Bedtime! Bedtime! Everyone go to bed. Quickly! Bedtime's early. In you go.
With all of the storms, I was so grateful that we'd just replaced the fencing in the poultry area. There's no way the original fence would have withstood the winds, and it would have blown over and I wouldn't have anywhere safe for my birds. Unfortunately, the roof on the house wasn't so good, and I need to replace the whole roof, which means I need to take the solar panels off first, have the roof replaced, and then put solar panels back on again. So many roofs were damaged all around here and in other shires as well, so I have to wait my turn before I can get my roof done. And as much as I love summer rains, I'm really hoping we don't get any rain for a while. So instead of dry conditions and trying to water and keep everything alive, I'm dealing with weeds, humidity, fungal diseases and pests that I'm not used to dealing with. Of course, I have my own pests that I'm used to dealing with, but these are different types of pests that I'm just not used to. You're always learning when you're gardening. The hardneck garlic is looking really good. I've been able to harvest it before any damage. Now it just needs to cure. Even though my homesteading space is small, I live on the edge of town, so I have access to land all around me. So I can go out yabbying to catch yabbies for my breakfast in the summertime when I feel like it. I always make sure to check under their tails when I catch them to make sure there's no eggs under there, because they're the ones that get thrown back. So there's yabbies for next time. This summer I've only grown indeterminate tomatoes, so I'm harvesting them every day for about 2 to 3 months, depending on how the season goes. I collect as many as I can each day that are ripe, and then I wash them, remove the green bits, and put them in the freezer in containers. And when I have enough, I make tomato soup and can it up. This is tomato and lamb soup that I'm making today. I try and get as much as I can out of the freezer as soon as I possibly can because of all the power outages. I'd rather have my food jarred up in cans so it's shelf stable and not getting ruined by long-term power outages. I do have a generator to run my freezer when the power is out. It's a good backup plan, but it's quite loud, so you can't run it at night in a small town. My stovetop runs on gas, so I'm able to can even if I don't have electricity. However, I prefer to can when it's not too hot. So I prefer to choose the days that suit me and not the stinking hot days when we don't have electricity. The more food that gets preserved, the more organised you need to be. I organise my food into categories of what the food is, so it's easy to find, but I also keep it in date of when I made it, so that everything is in order and we can use oldest to newest. That way nothing ends up going bad. I take the opportunity to organise my pantry shelves in the summer when it's cooler. On the cool days, that's when I'm in the kitchen. It gets too hot most of the summer to even be in the kitchen. It gets up to 40 degrees Celsius in the actual room. Of course, it's hotter outside, but there's no breeze in the house, and you just can't be in the house when it's that hot. Some of you have asked me about storing my jars in this room with the windows and the sunlight coming in onto the jars, and you were worried that it would be damaging my food. I don't have ideal conditions, obviously, with the heat, and my windows and the sun coming in isn't really a problem. I usually only have the windows open, or at least the curtains open, when I'm filming. Otherwise it would be too dark in here to film with my phone. I certainly don't have the perfect conditions, even though I've been homesteading for 30 years. But you have to make do with what you've got, and you do the best that you can with what you've got. I know better, and if I could, I would do better. But you can only do what you can do, and that's what's important. Otherwise, if I was waiting for everything to be perfect, I still wouldn't be doing anything. I'd still be waiting for the perfect conditions, and I wouldn't be achieving anything. And that's the point of my channel, is to show you that you can just keep trying and do what you can do, and eventually you'll be spending your days harvesting so much food that you have to put it up for the whole year. And then you'll really be homesteading. When I'm out in nature, I'm always looking around. I'm looking for snakes and spiders that I don't want to bother, and I'm looking for poop to see what animals have been around. I'm looking for burrows and nests and all sorts of things to tell me what's been around in this area. You never know what sort of food you're going to find. This is a cool nest that must have fallen out of the tree in the storm. There's still a nest up there, and there's no sign of any babies that have fallen out, but if there were, they were probably eaten already by predators. I've got to keep moving because I'm looking for rabbits. Because it gets so hot on my homestead, I can't keep meat rabbits, but luckily we have plenty of rabbits wild running around everywhere out in the paddocks. I make use of this resource and have been for the past 30 years. I don't get out every night like I used to, or even every day, but I get out occasionally and I do like to catch a rabbit. I can tell if they're sick or if they've got something wrong with them, like the calicium or the myxomatosis that people are poisoning them with. This is a healthy spring rabbit, and it was very delicious. If you'd like to see what happens in other seasons on the homestead, then check out this playlist. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.